Hey everybody, welcome back to DadBodsGolf. I am here with my sister today, who is actually 9 months pregnant right now. We're going to be playing a game where I drive and hit from the fairways, and once I get on the green, she is going to actually putt for me. So my sister has probably golfed once in her life. She's definitely hit some balls, but because she's pregnant, she's just going to putt. Follow along. I'd like to see how well we can play. Hopefully there's things that we do on here that you're going to enjoy, but follow along, stay tuned. Thanks for liking DadBodsGolf. I stepped up to the first tee at Sewailo Golf Club down in Tucson. It used to be the U of A home course, and absolutely striped one right down the fairway. Almost went through the fairway. Had about 70 yards up the hill and decided to take out a 56 degree. It was directly into the wind, so I wanted to keep it a little lower. I hit it a little too hard and went probably 40 feet past the pin. I still left my sister in a decent putt. She steps up to the putt and decides to hit it a little short, but it wasn't turned right. Walks up and misses the putt coming back and decides to have her first 3-putt of the day, but I did not leave her in a great spot. Stepping up to hole 2 at Sewailo Golf Course, I pulled my drive a little left, but it still went a pretty far distance. I was going to maybe hit out of the rock. I want to apologize about the volume. I did not charge my microphones before leaving down to Tucson, and it was something that I was really excited to come down here for and play with my sister. But we will keep trekking on and hopefully still enjoy the video, but we had some really great banter back and forth that I had to cut out, so hopefully I won't do that next time. I actually ended up hitting a pretty good drive here on the left. I was almost in the rocks, but had only about 60 yards. Decided to take a 60-degree wedge and hit an amazing shot to about 10 feet. I looked at my sister and said, this is a putt that I think she can make. Walked up to the green, and I was right. It's probably about 12, 15 feet. She lined up the putt and actually hit a pretty good speed downhill on the putt. I think the line was a little off, but she stepped up to the second putt and ended up draining it for a par. I think that's my sister's first par ever, and this is a round where she's going to remember that, especially telling her baby in about a week or two. Moving into hole 3, we are 1 over par and excited to. Hole 3 was a beautiful par 3 over the water on the left. I forgot to mention that this course, the winds are blowing at like 20, 30 mile an hour. So I'm not used to that here in the valley, but down in Tucson, it's a little windier. So decided to pull out a pitching wedge. I knew I didn't need to give it at all, but I still proceeded to fly over the green, but it went right over the pin. I thought, we were going to have something to look at. It did hit the green. It just went over the back. And I decided to pull out my 60 degree for a little chip and hit a decent chip. It just rolled past the hole. I know I was going to have to give my sister, 10, 15 feet for a putt coming back to save par. Liz ended up making a great putt. She had an amazing line. It was just a little short and tapped it in for bogey. Hole 4 on this course is a par 4, 384 yards. Step up with my driver and actually pulled it again. Not too bad. It just was going at those bunkers on the left. Ended up hitting the top of the bunker and rolling to the right. My sister laughed at me because we thought we were potentially going to be out of bounds or in the bunker, but had a great look at a second shot and excited to see if we could stomp a birdie and have my sister sink a putt. Had about 100 yards in directly into the wind and decided to pull out my gap wedge and hit a not so great shot to the front of the green. Luckily, I did not go in the water to the right. Ended up hitting a pretty good pitch shot, rolled out to about 4 feet. Had a chance for my sister to save par. She ended up hitting it past the hole and tapped it in for bogey coming back. Hole 5 is a long par 4 dogleg around the water and sand right in front of you. I ended up hitting a pretty good drive that drew on me, which was great though, so it left me about 120 yards out. Had a gap wedge in my hand about 120 yards and did not want to do what I did on the last hole, which was hit it short. What did I do? I ended up chunking it about 50 yards ahead of me, so I knew I had to chip this to get up and down to leave my sister a decent putt. I hit an amazing chip for my standards to about 6 feet and had a look at it for par. My sister walked up and I told her it was downhill and breaking a little to the right. She stepped up and absolutely drained that putt. It was her first one putt of the day. Hole 6 is a 527-yard par 5 dogleg left over ravine, and I ended up duck hooking into the ravine. Did not hit a great shot. Had a 7-iron into this par 5 with the wind behind me a little bit, and ended up flaring it a little right, almost hitting the people in front of me on the right side of the green. I hit a pretty good chip with my 60-degree off a very tight lie to about, I think it was close to 20 feet, and my sister stepped up and missed the putt short, but had a good line and ended up tapping it in for a bogey. Hole 7 is a par 3, 180 yards. I had an 8-iron into that green. The wind was coming from right to left. Actually hit a really good shot and stuck it to about 15, 20 feet. I knew it was going to be a difficult putt for my sister, but she's actually been putting pretty well all day. So she leaves her first putt short, and we walk up and I give her a line and tell her to don't hit this too hard, and she blows it by another 3 or 4 feet. Walks around and tells me that she thinks she's going to make that and proceeds to miss that putt. So this was her first 4 putt of the round. This is foreshadowing for our back 9. Hole 8 is another par 5, about 547 yards with some bunkers on the left and right. I ended up hitting a pretty good drive. It just hit the top of the bunker on the left and bounced it pretty straight up. So I thought I was going to have a closer shot in for my 2, but ended up having a 3-wood and hit it pretty well. Just went right and actually caught the cart path and rolled all the way down to the cart path. I lost my ball for a second, was looking at it bounce, but it ended up being right on the cart path. I ended up chipping the shot over the bunker and it rolled out on me all the way to the other side of the green. I was on the fringe, which means that I was going to putt this ball. My sister wanted nothing to do with that putt, especially after her last 4 putt. Actually hit a really great lag putt to about 2 feet. And gave my putter to Liz, and Liz sank the putt for par. Hole 9 is a dogleg left again, 390 yards around some water. I had to maneuver around the people that were cutting the grass, but hit a great shot to the center of the fairway. Had about 100 yards into the green with a great backdrop. I ended up pulling out a 56 degree. I think it was a little downhill. I misjudged the downhill in the wind, but it went right over the pin to the back of the green. And I was on the fringe and decided to putt and ended up leaving it about 3 feet short. But I still thought my sister could make the par putt. She stepped up and left it just a little long and tapped it in for bogey. So that's the end of the front 9 where my sister was putting for me. We ended up shooting a 7 over, which is better than I actually thought. We had a good time on the YouTube channel on DadBodsGolf. We appreciate everybody watching. Stay tuned for the back 9. We're going to play a different game, but please like and subscribe and follow.